Oh snap. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, and big waves have been made today with the latest sneak peek. We are getting on top of Arrow and Swordmaster. They're going all in on the Agents of Atlas. This is a full-blown Agents of Atlas update. Ladies and gentlemen, start your alarms, start your sirens. And we're getting 3 new uniforms for existing characters. So let's take a look at what the little clip here has to show us. We're in some sort of dining area, possibly in a nightclub. This is sort of giving me vibes of like Penguin's nightclub in the Gotham TV show in season 1 and beyond. To be honest, I didn't finish watching the show, but I thought the first couple seasons were actually pretty enjoyable. But anyways, let's kick it off and see what's up. We get that super familiar little jingle there, that Luna Snow jingle. And then we see this little hologram, which, you know, reminds you of Tony Stark and reminds you of that sort of technology, which I love. And then we got, who do we got here? Well, we got Little Crescent, no IL, but we got Little Crescent on the left there. We got Luna in the middle, and we got White Fox on the right. And if you take a look at what these are, and if you've been watching my videos recently, if you've been seeing Danny Koo talking about stuff on Twitter, you recognize these. These are the same uniforms that they have debuted very recently in their self-titled comic run. So we've got here Crescent with her new sort of school outfit, still rocking the same Taekwondo, you know, otherwise with the pretty rad shoes. She's rocking like the Asian Jordans over here. And then she's got, of course, Io behind her, who may have gotten a visual upgrade. It's kind of hard to tell because he's a spirit. He's a stand user, or she's a stand user. He's a stand. We've got White Fox, who is looking much more like sort of you know, blue collar police officer. She's got some sort of lightsaber thing going on there at the bottom. That's obviously her baton, but she looks a lot more normal. She looks a lot more like a normal sort of you know, regular superhero. She doesn't look so fantastical as she did before. And then we have Luna Snow, who now looks, again, she looks more like a DJ. She looks more K-pop now. The Andromeda suit, which you guys can see on the left there, made her look a lot more space tech. It made her look a lot more like some sort of cosmic superhero. Now she looks more like a down-to-earth girl who, you know, loves music, has one long pant and one short pant for her pants there, for her legs. And then, you know, listens to music, plays music, sings, etc. We also have this Future Avengers thing here advertised in all 3 issues. I've read about what that actually is, and it's quite interesting. So if it seems interesting to you, you should check out Future Avengers. I don't want to spoil it for you, but they're new characters who have been trained by Hydra to beat the evil Avengers, who are actually just our regular Avengers. So it's actually a pretty cool spin. Additionally, I actually wanted to cover this theory before it became reality in the last video that we did yesterday, but I didn't because I wanted to see if it was going to be a sneak peek before I made a speculation video, because I didn't want to make 2 videos, and I was feeling like, you know what, we might get another sneak peek, and it would be kind of silly of me to cover this if we then get a sneak peek that confirms everything that I was speculating. So what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about this. This is you know, Atlas Foundation Communications, and it's basically one of the last pages of the White Fox comic. If people have purchased it, so someone purchased it and then scanned it, and so this is Danny Koo talking, but this person here working is someone who works at Netmarble. We're not really sure who it is, but we can recognize, I mean, I can recognize, at least from the background, the green here, that it appears to be the Netmarble Studios where I work. And then, of course, if you zoom in, you can see pretty clearly that he's working on character models for these characters. Now, again, you can obviously speculate on whether these character models are for Marvel Future Fight or not, but it does seem like a lot of work to be putting in for something that wouldn't be Netmarble related, because I don't believe they make these kinds of 3D models for comics with these sort of details in terms of separating facial features, legs, shoes, and then accessories like that. This very much seems like a Marvel Future Fight thing. Maybe they're going to turn some of these accessories into some of the gear icons. And then you can see here, you know, it's sort of zoomed in and gives you some of the details on White Fox and how she's going to look now with the tactical glasses, the holster ring, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see that they're doing this. It also mentions, Danny Koo mentions Future Fight in his little blurb here. So this is probably a pretty good indication that yeah, this was true. Which, and this is I believe if you look carefully, his mouse pad is the Gwenpool sneak peek from 2016. So yeah, this was what I wanted to cover for you guys yesterday, but I didn't because again I wasn't sure and I didn't want to do a speculation video and then be like, hey guys, remember my speculation from yesterday? Well, turns out I was right. Let's talk about everything all over again. So now we just get to talk about it in one shot. And we get to talk about my thoughts on these characters getting uniforms because it did obviously cross my mind. You know, seeing Swordmaster, seeing Arrow, Agents of Atlas, these three characters are extremely close not only to Agents of Atlas and other Asian superheroes who are getting a lot more spotlight in the last year, but also Danny Koo, who is personally responsible for the creation of Luna Snow, for the creation of Crescent, and then he's responsible for bringing White Fox from that sort of limited run web comic thing that was so strange and kind of poorly drawn. Not poorly drawn, I mean way better drawing than I can do, but it was just it wasn't up to par. The character looked way too cool to only be drawn that in that style. She needs a more refined style. She needs a more unique style to really bring out the best in her. And so yeah, I'm pretty excited for at least two of these characters to get uniforms. Now I want to address sort of the grumpier side of things. I know a lot of people are going to be upset or some people are going to be upset that Luna Snow is getting yet another uniform. Paywall characters getting back-to-back uniforms year over year is pretty painful. I do have to admit that. The only easy way to immediately get her to tier 2 or to immediately get her uniform to Mythic is to use a Mega Mythic uniform ticket. However, the one thing I can say that is on the plus side is that they have been much more generous lately with either allowing us to choose uniform rank up tickets from token check-ins, which is why I have 2 of these and 2 of these. They've also been doing events where they will drop randomly, so again, they're giving you a way to farm them in a sense, not exactly, but in a sense. And then also here from the Cosmic Core event. So Netmarble has been doing this more recently in the past year. Now, whether this offsets the cost for you in your mind is obviously a personal decision. You might say, even though I have an advanced and a rare uniform and I could immediately get Luna Snow's uniform to rare without purchasing anything and without paying a penny, it's not enough. I have to get it to Mythic. Well, in that case, then the decisions have to be made. She's definitely not the first character to get multiple uniforms in 1 year. And we've seen this year that some characters get multiple uniforms in the span of a couple of months. Now, in those cases, there's some differences going on there, and it's still 1,000 fresh crystals that you have to drop. But I think it's just a matter of the character being more popular in terms of being in Agents of Atlas and getting that second look. Sharon got a uniform sort of year over year as well, and that also coincided with her sort of renewed look. In Luna Snow's case, it's a little bit more specific and it's a little bit more on the nose with her getting a uniform basically exactly 1 year later. And I know that Sharon's not a paywall character and Luna is, but we'll have to wait and see because I will say this, for the past few updates, the token events have not given us uniforms. They've given us Mega Rank Up tickets. So it'll be interesting to see if they purposely make this next token exchange give us the possibility to get, a legendary uniform upgrade ticket, a heroic uniform upgrade ticket, and so on and so forth. That would sort of smooth over the pain of upgrading another Luna Snow uniform to Mythic. As far as Luna Snow goes, I mean, she's amazing. You guys know that. So really, I think there's 2 ways they can go with this uniform, as I usually say, but they can either make her even stronger for PvE, which is pretty scary, or they could actually explore some of her options in PvP. That would be kind of cool. That would be pretty interesting. But we'll have to wait and see. Keep in mind, Luna Snow has one of the lowest base stats of any tier 3 character. So when they make changes to the uniforms, they really have to pay attention to not only the percentages on her attacks, which are all, as you can see, very high. They're 70+%. But also they have to pay attention to the number of hits, and they have to pay attention to those types of things because it's easy for them to underpower her. And we saw that with her original 4th skill and how that completely sort of ruined her rotation and ruined the power of her abilities because she doesn't rely on her base stats to really pack a punch the way that Namor does. Just very, very low base stats for a tier 3. And then for Luna, for the other 2, for non-Lunas here, Crescent and White Fox, this is all gravy. Now again, I know White Fox is a crystal character that you get from the heroic quest. And so you can't get her bios normally, so you're going to have to play the heroic quest or use tickets. And then in Crescent's case, she is a paywall character, so that is another situation like that. But on the plus side, you know, with Crescent and Luna both getting something this update, we could see another event quest, or we could see another sort of giveaway in a sense, where you sort of exchange energy for biometrics of either Luna or Crescent, the way that we had last time with Crescent. So it'll be interesting to see. And I also know that for quite a few of you, you only got Crescent to 6 stars, not only for the leadership, but also for the extra rewards that you got from that event battle. There was like a 6-star Gwenpool card, etc., that you could, you know, like a mythic a chaotic ISO that you could only get if you got her to 6 stars. You actually take her to 5 stars, I believe, to enter into the last node of the event quest. So I think for those of you who have her at 6 stars, you may want to save in anticipation a mega tier 2 ticket. Now I can't guarantee obviously that Crescent is going to be amazing with her new uniform, but she's pretty bad right now. Netmarble knows that nobody's buying her. Netmarble knows that nobody's playing her because they have the statistics. I would not be surprised if as an original character a la Luna Snow and a la Sharon Rogers, I would not be surprised at all if Crescent becomes an extremely strong character after this first uniform. Look at what they did to Sharon Rogers. Look at what they did to Luna Snow with their first uniforms. That is the bar to set and to exceed. Additionally, either Crescent or White Fox could get their tier 3. It's a very real possibility. We could see one of the new characters like Arrow or Swordmaster or some other character that hasn't been announced. We could see them getting a uniform, tier 3, sorry, but it's absolutely possible that one of these two gets a tier 3. I would personally prefer, I think I would prefer White Fox because she's a speed type, but I also wouldn't, honestly, guys, I love combat types. I'm sorry, but I really love combat types. Would I like to see a big-ass blue bear whooping ass everywhere and being super strong? You know what? Yeah, I would love to see a giant, ghostly blue bear uppercut Thanos. Yes, I would. Sorry. I really don't care which one gets it. I'm just excited, and I want them to be strong, and I want them to be more than just support characters. 2 of these 3 characters you're seeing here right now are only supports. White Fox is a leadership and passive support, and Crescent is just a leadership support. So they really need to change that. They really need to make these characters viable on their own for something more than Shadowland. I mean, they have to do additionally more changes and tweaks and buffs and revamps and reworks to existing game modes. But we'll have to see what they do with these characters, and hopefully they make them valuable. Because you know what? There are some people who didn't purchase Crescent and are kind of left in the sidelines, but there are also people who purchased Crescent, like me, and who haven't used her. So I want a bit more return on my investment here, guys. If I'm supporting the game and the developers, I want these characters to at least be functional and useful on their own beyond just a leadership. As far as what they could get to make them stronger, it's really up in the air. I mean, Crescent needs a top to bottom change in terms of her damage, because she has pretty much every awesome passive effect. She has accumulation, she has self-heal, she has guard hit, she has debuff, she has immunity, she has reflect, and penetration and ignore dodge. But she doesn't hit hard. She hits like a paper bag. Even with 38,000 physical attack with her leadership, it just doesn't cut it. She barely finishes like a stage 60 Shadowland. So she definitely needs a ton of damage. White Fox, on the other hand, needs some damage, but I think she just needs a few more sort of tricks up her sleeve. She has quite a few attacks that are just sort of Shadowland attacks, or just sort of white, vanilla sort of damage skills with just white text, like no sort of flavor text. And she could use a much better passive. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully both of these characters become strong enough to be usable. But in the meantime, this definitely means that on top of my suggestion to maybe save up a Mega Rank Up ticket, save up a Mega Tier 2 ticket, because all these characters are obviously very difficult to get, you could start, because there's at least a week before the update, in my opinion, you could start on the White Fox Heroic Quest and start banking up some crystals. Start banking up some biometrics of hers, because you know she's getting a uniform, and if you don't have tickets to drop on her, that's going to be the only other way to get her. On the plus side, though, if you do save up a couple of tickets, you may only need to play her mission once to finish the uniform. So that does bring the cost of the uniform up to 1,800 crystals total, in addition to the month that you're going to spend playing the Heroic Quest. but then it just becomes a very simple, cut and dry, do it, get there, finish the uniform. She's probably not going to get one for at least another year plus type situation. And it's interesting to see because she's the first character of the Heroic Quest characters to get a uniform. So we'll have to wait and see if they follow up quickly with Arachnite and Wave or not. So let me know what you guys think of the Agents of Atlas announcement, part 2 for Luna, Crescent, and White Fox. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like if you enjoyed the video. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again soon. Take care.